What's up, YouTube? Pastor Bob again. I thought I'd show you guys this. So, I gotta show you guys this. If you can find the old one. So, in old houses, they have a habit of wiring things very strange. And I noticed that for some reason, whenever I tried to use the old plug, there was something wrong. It kept popping the breaker. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then this is like, I don't know, 1960s or 70s switch, right? That's supposed to work the fan. So what they had it as on a single, right? They had a power up there, which I'll show you in a second. Cross was a single, but no power coming to here. The power was up there. They had the power hooked to the neutral line, white line, run it to here, and somehow they hooked up a black line, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? This, let me show you. Look at that. It melted that. That was hot. There's only a couple things that I know. Bad grounds, excessive, like a heater on high all the time in here and left on for extended periods of time. Overloading this circuit, and the circuit got stuck and melted. This is what causes house fires, guys. Right? Hair dryer. I mean, lots of things can happen here. This is why when you buy a used house, you know, I don't care what it is, you need to have an electrician come through and do a continuity check, make sure that your plugs are working, okay? It's not you being a cheapskate and not wanting to pay, $600 to $1,500 to have an actual certified inspector to come in and inspect things. This is why. Because this shit can kill you guys. Burn your house down. Alright? So, I did not trust my brother living in this house with that switch. Now, I figured this switch out. This was bad. I did a continuity check. It's fine. Now, as you can see, it's got a green light. But look at that. Right? So I changed that, GFI. Note, ladies and gents and kids, if you need a heater in your bathroom, okay? Look. I suggest putting a 220 circuit in, or have somebody put a 220 circuit in and run an electric heater, right? If you can't do that, then you need to duct in your heat if you have oil. I mean, that's kind of, chinchy, but it ducts over here and it blows heat in here, right? It's a safer way of doing it. But if you're going to plug in a small little heater, right, try not to get anything, too high, right? Get a low wattage one, 700 watts or something like that, and only keep it on when you're in here, when you're in your bathroom. Shut it off when you're not. Don't leave it for an hour and go drink and call Susie or Ben and then come back. No, don't do that. Don't leave it unattended, guys. That's not cool. You should always be in attention to that stuff when you're plugging it into a wall, okay? Same thing with a hairdryer. I'm just trying to save your life, right? I'm trying to give you some information so that you don't kill yourself. All right? Good gracious me. Anyway, so I fixed that. I killed this switch. Now, I just got done putting all this in, right? But, you don't know. Oh, my God. So I had to go up in there, and drill some holes up in the ceiling, right? And then I had to snake a couple wires down. No, before I go any further, look. I'm not telling you to do this, okay? I'm not telling you to do it my way, okay? I'm not, it's on you. If you want to risk it for the biscuit, and you want to take the chance, and you want to believe in what I'm saying, that's on you. I'm not telling you to do it this way. This is how I'm doing it, okay? I've done it for years. I know what the hell I'm doing. I'm not certified. I don't have to be certified. I went to school. I had the best. I had master electricians teach me the different ways of doing it and the safest ways of doing it, right? If you don't have a 4-lead wire, right? A 12-4 or a 10-4, whatever wire. Well, all that means is there's 4 wires coming out of a single wire instead of 3, right? That's all that means. Then this is the way that I would suggest doing it. And the reason why is because wire is expensive, right? Romax is expensive. So if you don't want to buy the other stuff, which is twice as much for, a third of what you'll get with, some Romax, right? So this is 14.2, which is perfect for what I'm doing. It's only running a fan and a light, right? So this is what I did. Just so that you understand. So I have a fan and a light, right? That's what these 2 switches are. One's for the fan and one's for the light. Now up here, in this bullshit, if you look right here, okay, this is the earth ground or ground coming from your panel box, okay, from your circuit breaker, right? These lines, this line, this white line, right, is coming from the circuit breaker. And this black wire, right, which is your power, right, or your common, right, is coming from your circuit breaker, okay? So what happens here is this line right here, right, that says power on it. I'll show you. I'll get around to it. All right. This line right here says power. You see this? Okay. So that's the power. We got that, right? It's coming from your breaker, your power. All right. So your power lead comes in to the bottom of your circuit, right? Then you got a jumper because you got to feed both of these, right? So these are 2 separate circuits. One's working your fan, right? And one's working your light. That's how it works. Because this power is only going to feed this one. If you want to feed your light, you got to run a jumper, right? This is a common thing. Okay, electricians do this. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just showing you. This is how I was taught. And this is how I do it. I'm not telling you to do it. For Christ's sakes. Will it work? Absolutely. People have been doing it for years, right? I've seen, I don't know how many master electricians do it. And I was taught that in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So, you run the jumper from here to your next module, right? Or your next switch, because these are 2 individual switches, right? They're just smaller in size, right? Mini switches, right? Now, this jumper is going over here and powering this. So, we know we got power coming in, right? We got the power coming in. And we got power jumping over to this circuit. Now, all we need to do is run 2 leads. So we got a fan, see the fan, and we have a light. So these 2 lines right here, all right, they run back up the ceiling, run back down through this hole, right? And then you'll see this one right here. The reason why it was temporary is because So you got fan, right? And then right here, you'll see it says light, okay? And they go into the power side of the fan and the power side, okay, of the fan and light combination, right? Exhaust fan light combination. Now you're wondering, what do you do with the other ones? Well, on the fan light combo, right, they have a ground. Sometimes they're blue, right? This is your ground. So the ground just hooks up to your ground, coming from your box, coming from your switch, right? And your white lead, right, your neutral white lead, just hooks up to the 2, right? So all 3 wires hook up together, up here. Not all the wires down here, okay? Those wires hook up here to where it comes in from your breaker, okay? And then you run a power lead from where it comes in, like I said, down to your switch, right? And you run a jumper. This is how I do it. I'm not telling you to do it. You could check, master electrician in your area. Call them, ask them. I suggest you do that. Am I telling you that what I do is not going to work? No, I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you that I don't want to take responsibility for you doing this. So if you do it, it's on your own accord. Okay? I'm saying that a lot because I don't want you to get misconstrued that I'm a master electrician. I'm not. Okay? Have I been to school? Yes. I have been to school for construction technology and HVAC, right? So you learn the basic wiring systems. And I don't know how many houses I've ever built and how many houses I've ever wired. But that doesn't make me a professional. That just, I just installed the stuff. I had a master electrician on hand when I was doing this stuff, and he was guiding me. And I learned it. But if you're a DIYer and you're out there searching for information, well, here's some information for you. So anyway, so your power coming from your box, right, from your circuit breaker, that one wire runs into here, right? Jumper to power both circuits, and then a one wire from each one of these Romaxes. Now, there's 3 wires that run through each one of these, but I cut them off, wrapped them up, right? Cut them off, wrap them up. I just haven't wrapped this one yet, right? Same thing with this power. I like to keep them in the Romax. I don't like to just run a single wire down through the ceiling. I like to keep it insulated. That's just how I like to do it. I always think about safety first, right? And then, anyway, these 2 wires come from your switches, and they go back up here, right? And they just hook up to the power that goes inside of the fan. That's it. It's simple. It's easy, okay? The hard part is when you're dealing with an old house and trying to get your hand up in there and freaking insulation is itching you and scratching you and you can't get to the hole and you got to move a bunch of stuff. That's the tough stuff. And then I just got done putting all this in. I had to cut a hole. I mean, it's just, take you 3 or 4 hours. It's just the way it is. But I didn't trust this switch. It's very old. I don't know, the longevity of it, and I just don't trust it. I just don't. We have many reasons for it, and when I don't trust something, that's it. It's dead. It will be real dead in a few minutes because I'm going to bust the hell out of it. But see, back in the old days, they riveted these in, so they were non-changeable. So, that's that. So, put modern technology in. Nice safe box. I won't have to worry about my brother when he's sleeping. And his family. Because they're my family. I don't want them to burn up, right? So, I'm redoing the whole thing. And then I know it's safe. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys. I mean, you know, like I said, you know, if you like the information, you think I know what I'm talking about, I always say this. Compare everybody's videos. And if, you know, you see that the videos make sense to you, well, that's on you to decide whether you want to go forward or not. But I also say, if you're not sure and you're scared, right, and you doubt yourself too much, because there's a lot of people out there that doubt themselves, then I suggest calling an electrician. Okay? Sometimes you can get electricians online. They'll come online. They'll give you a diagram. They'll give you the information. They're licensed. You know, if you follow their instructions, you know, then you'll be safe. Guy like me, I'm just trying to, you know, show you what I'm doing. That's all. Got it? All right. Well, I hope it was helpful to you. At least informational wise, you know, you can't never get enough information, guys. Never. All right, guys. Take care. God bless. This is Pastor Bob, and I'm out of here. See ya.